Hey, it's Jeannie Blaha with Take Walk with Your Angels. I wanted to cover part two of the quantum healing with people's soul experiences, maybe as with having limbs being no longer a part of their body or connected, paralyzation, also to include things like blindness, and then any other possible conditions that you've heard of where they say that there is it's incurable. Okay, so we're going to talk about a bit about this and how you can walk into these quantum leaps with your loved ones or with yourself to check in to see where your soul has that condition, because I have to say that I have met a lot of people this lifetime who have a certain specific what they call disability. Not particularly those people, but what's being phrased out there as disability. I actually don't call it that because I've met people with all kinds of what you and I may consider just extreme challenges with physical form, and yet they are more able in their spirit and in their practice and in their life as far as being on purpose and being amped up than a lot of people that may have all their limbs working and all of their nerves are in flow and etc., and they don't have any physical blocks per se. So something to consider is that you can quantum leap with yourself or a loved one or many loved ones who you want to see where they might have derived that soul experience. So quantum leaping is not just about this time frame. You can actually quantum leap into the past and into the future as well. So you can go back to prior to, say, a car crash that brought somebody to experience becoming a paraplegic or a quadriplegic. You can quantum leap back prior to somebody being blind and quantum leap into that experience and talk with that soul. And if it's your soul, talk with your soul and find out where that creation happened. We're all co-creating all the time, and we are very smart souls, so they're coming in with these very specific lessons and learnings that they want to take on. And so in my previous video, part one of the quantum healing, quantum leaping for healing, I didn't want to give the impression that you're in any sort of lack if you cannot heal something this lifetime, because you aren't. You're never in lack. That again is a belief system or a thought stream or something that was impressed upon you as you're missing something, and you're never missing anything. So even if we're experiencing conditions that we might have energy blocks, that we have a thought stream right now in this lifetime that we are unable to become able-bodied again, say we are disabled, and we don't know that we can at some point, because in the next probably 20 years, people will be destoring paralyzation even. And if you've ever been around somebody with a limb that has been, is no longer connected in the physical form, many people who have experienced that will tell you that they often have very real sensations, that their leg is still there, that their arm is still there, that they actually have to, they kind of remind themselves, oh wait, I don't have my leg there anymore. So energetically, we're always in our perfect form. There's not a day or a time that you're not energetically in your perfect form. You always are. So just to offset any consternation in the last video that might have given somebody of that feeling of what does that mean if I can't heal that, it doesn't mean anything other than it's just not the time right now. It doesn't mean it will never happen. It doesn't mean that it couldn't happen. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you if it's not happening. There's nothing wrong. You're always exactly perfect. So, but it can be really fun to go into this current reality and be with a loved one, quantum leap with them, and see what came with that experience, what came with that life lesson. I can tell you, having spoken with people who have become quadriplegic or paraplegic, they have told me that they knew that the experience had to happen to them, that the other people in the car would have not been able to handle it, and other choices would have been made about their lives, that they felt it had to be me. That experience had to be me. So There's a soul knowing about all of these things. Now, I also wanted to share an experience that I had more than 20 years ago with a man who became blinded when he was 8 years old from a malady that he experienced. So I sat with him and I asked him, if you could regain your eyesight and uncreate and delete that blindness, would you want to? And he said, no, I would not want to do that. And I said, really? Tell me why. Because I'm always very curious as to why people feel that they're amped up and they're powered up and they're free in whatever state they're in. He said, because ever since I have been blind, I can read people better than if I had these two eyes to use. And people treat me with so much more dignity and respect than they did prior. And yes, I was only 8 years old, but I don't really have people treating me poorly. And I always know exactly where people stand. He goes, blindness for me was kind of like the cut to the chase, soul to soul connection. People just related to me from then on as a soul. They didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care what they looked like. The judgment dropped away and we could just be connected as spirits. And I was like, pretty cool, huh? So you'll run into this where people are experiencing certain conditions or experiences from their soul level, and they'll tell you, maybe they're in an advanced stage of ALS, and they'll tell you, you know what, I've never felt more powered up in my life. I've never felt more on purpose. And that is the truth of the soul. The soul gets to choose. You get to do it your own way. And there is no lack. There's no limitation on what that experience is for you. So, but it can be really fun to go from this current reality and quantum leap to see right prior to that experience, prior to the ALS, prior to the paralyzation, prior to all that, and look at what happened prior to that became the blueprint of what was happening for your soul, and then what happened with all of that teaching and that learning, and you're absorbing and integrating all this experience. And what if, as I've seen many, many, many times, people, they say, I have never felt more powered up in my life. I've never felt more on purpose. And bravo, because if everyone could feel that feeling while they're still here in this form, whether or not that we can use the limbs or not, or if the limbs are there or not, that's the coolest thing ever. Soul purpose is just amazing. So something to consider. That's another way to look at people who are experiencing all those conditions too, because if we look with those eyes, you will not see any lack, and you will definitely not be putting any kind of a title on it as a situation of disabled, because, as I said, the people that I've experienced and that I've connected with all these myriad of conditions, they are some of the most able-bodied, most powered up, most amped on souls on the planet. So with that, wanted to share everything with you. Let me know if you have any questions, or if there's something specific you want me to cover. I'm happy to be doing this, and it's very exciting. And keep practicing. It'll get stronger and stronger, and you'll be very surprised at how you can actually, as I said, go back into the past, uncreate and de-story an experience and recreate it differently for yourself, so that when you're quantum leaping it forward again, it will come back to you. You'll be absorbing and integrating energy that's very, very different, and bringing back that into your current reality. I'm watching people experience incredible transformations in their life doing this. So you got to kind of wrap your head around the idea of we actually can go back into the past and uncreate and de-story things, and then bring that forward and experience a completely different current reality state, and then quantum leap to desired reality. It's so much fun. Exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. Love you lots. It's Jeannie Mary Blaha. Take a walk with your angels, and joyflames.com. I'm standing here with you and sending you lots of love. Bye.